Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us in this tutorial for the Fort Digital Events Management System, or EMS. Today, I'll walk you through how the system works from start to finish, from registration to check-in. As you can see here, this is an all-in-one system. It allows you to handle registrations, RSVP, seating or table arrangements, and check-ins. It also includes an SMS function, which is one of its most important features. I'll be explaining all of these features in this video. To log into the EMS system, simply visit our main website at fortdigital.com.sg and click on the EMS login. Now, I'm going to log into this account and show you how easy it is to create an event. On the left-hand menu, click on Create Event. Simply enter the event name. It's that straightforward. For example, I'm going to create an event called Fort Digital Dinner and Dance. Then click Submit. Done. You have created an event. As you can see, this is the list of previous events, and here is the newly created event. Instantly, you will receive both a registration link and a QR code. You can share this link with participants so they can register for the event, or they can scan the QR code instead. Of course, before sharing it, you should edit the event details. To do that, go to the event list, where all your created events are shown, and click Edit. Here, you can modify a variety of settings. First, you can change the event title, the registration start date and time, the event start date and time, the registration closing date, and the closing message. You can also set RSVP options and an event quota. For example, if you set a quota of 1,000 registrations, once it reaches that limit, no further registrations will be accepted. Other details you can update include short information about the event, known as side notes, the event website link, and the event logo. Make sure to upload the logo in PNG or another transparent format, or if you use JPEG, ensure it blends well with the white background. You can also customize the color scheme, choosing between light and dark themes to match your company branding or the event theme. Once you're done, click Submit. Almost every element of the registration page is customizable, including the terms and conditions. Participants must agree to these before registering, and you can edit this section as well. Additionally, you can enable or disable certain fields, such as making the company name or mobile number required. There is also an OTP, one-time password option, which is very important. Why? Because sometimes participants enter invalid phone numbers like 99999 just to get a ticket. If that happens, you won't be able to contact them. Being able to contact participants is crucial for updates about their RSVP status or seating arrangements. SMS is the fastest and most reliable way to reach them. To ensure we can contact participants correctly, it's important to enable the OTP, one-time password, during registration. This way, participants must enter their valid phone numbers and receive an OTP before they can get their ticket. You can choose which fields are required, such as email, name, or company. In this example, I'll keep these 4 fields as required. If you want to collect more information, you can add additional fields. For instance, you could add a text field asking for their favorite color or their department. You can also add a field, for example, department, and also second as a drop-down field with book color, and give them the option of blue and red. After adding these fields, click Save and refresh the registration page. As you can see, the new fields in the drop-down menu are now included. Let's do a real demo now. I'll register using the first name, Mike, the last name, Tay, along with the company name, email address, a valid phone number, and the department field. The participant must also agree to the terms and conditions, which usually cover PDPA data retention policies. They can click to read the terms, then tick to accept and register. When they submit, the system will send an SMS with an OTP to their mobile number. They must enter this OTP to complete registration. If they don't enter it, they won't get their ticket. After confirming the OTP, they will immediately receive a barcode ticket. This barcode ticket can be presented on the event day for scanning. They will also receive an SMS with the link to their barcode ticket, as well as an email. You can edit the content of the SMS here, including the ticket link, so participants will always have access to it. The same applies to the email template. They'll receive the ticket link there too. This way, participants can always retrieve their ticket through SMS or email. That's how simple it is to create an event, allow people to register, and provide them with the registration link or QR code. Next, let's look at the guest list. This is where you can see all the registrations. As shown here, there's a quick summary of the total number of guests. We also allow guests to register additional attendees, called sub-guests, although most events usually require each person to register individually. That way, everyone receives a unique barcode ticket. Let me demonstrate another registration. I'll register a second attendee with a different department. I'll wait for the OTP, which once again is very important for verifying phone numbers. However, you can disable the OTP requirement if you prefer. It's worth noting that if you already have your own registration form, you can import the data directly into the system. Now I'll enter the OTP, and as you can see, the second registration is complete, and a new barcode ticket has been generated. In the guest list, you'll see both registrations, along with their barcode ticket links. If a participant loses their ticket, you can easily resend it to them by SMS. This section provides a quick summary of all registrations. We call this the master table, where all guest information is stored. You can also see any additional fields collected, like department or favorite color. You can export the entire guest list to an Excel file with one click, making it easy to manage the data as needed. If you already have a list of participants, you don't have to rely on the registration form. Instead, you can prepare your own database as a CSV or Excel file. The file should follow this simple format: column A for first name, column B for mobile number, and so on. The essential fields are name and mobile number, while the rest are optional. Once your file is ready, simply upload it, and the system will automatically generate barcode tickets for each guest. Each participant will receive a unique barcode ticket link. Again, this guest list can be built either through the Fort Digital registration form or by importing your own database. In both cases, every guest will receive their unique barcode ticket. Once you've imported your guest data, you can broadcast SMS messages to share their barcode tickets. Simply craft your message here. This is how you will continuously communicate with guests about updates, changes, cancellations, RSVPs, seating arrangements, and more. That's why it's so important to collect accurate phone numbers. For example, after importing a contact list, you can send an SMS to inform guests about their tickets. You can personalize the message using fields like first name and last name, which the system will automatically merge. For example, dear, first name, last name, your ticket link is here, ticket link. You can choose to send the message to all guests, just the main guests, or a specific individual. If someone loses their ticket, you can search for their name. For instance, Mike. Select them and resend the ticket. Otherwise, you can select everyone and broadcast the message in one click. The SMS will include the ticket link, allowing guests to access it easily. This SMS broadcast system is a powerful tool to keep in touch with your guests at every stage. Remember, you can build your guest list through the Fort Digital registration form or by importing your own database. After registration is complete, you can also manage table arrangements. For example, you can assign Mike Tay to Table 1 and Jimmy to Table 1 or Table 2. You can assign guests to tables as needed and view the number of guests at each table. If, for example, you have 10 people per table, you can easily manage their assignments. Returning to the guest list, you will see all this table information reflected there. After assigning table numbers, you can also send SMS notifications to guests. For example, you might write, Dear first name, last name, your table number is table number. You can send these messages a day before the event or on the day itself, so guests won't have to scramble to find their table assignments. You can choose to send this SMS to everyone at once. Next, let's look at the RSVP feature. RSVP is a special page for guests to confirm their attendance. Typically, you will send out RSVP links about a week or 5 days before the event. This allows you to finalize arrangements for tables, food, parking tickets, and other logistics. Each guest will receive a unique RSVP link. When they click the link, they'll be asked if they are attending. If they are not attending, they can provide a reason. You can also gather information about their meal preferences or whether they are driving. These options can be customized in the settings. For example, You can define meal types and decide whether to allow guests to add additional attendees. After the guest submits their RSVP, you can display a confirmation message. Then, in the guest list, you'll see their RSVP status, along with the date and time they confirmed, their meal preference, and whether they are driving, so you can prepare parking tickets accordingly. To send the RSVP link, you use the same SMS broadcast system. For example, "Dear first name, last name, please confirm your attendance here. RSVP link." Every guest will receive their own unique RSVP link. Just click Broadcast to send it to all guests. For example, if a guest selects vegetarian and confirms, their RSVP status will be updated in the guest list. You can track the total number of confirmed RSVPs, cancellations, and pending responses. For instance, if you see that 2 guests have confirmed, the summary will show total guests, 2, confirmed, 2, canceled, 0, and pending, 0. If you notice many pending RSVPs, you can send reminders, for example, 12 hours later or the next day, to encourage guests to respond. You can also segment your messages based on RSVP status. Send thank you messages to confirmed guests, reminders to those pending, or even follow-ups for guests who canceled, letting them know they can still change their mind if needed. For guests who have confirmed, you can then send table numbers. This is why having accurate mobile numbers is critical, so you can keep guests updated throughout the event process. Finally, tracking meal preferences helps you avoid food waste and plan parking tickets more effectively. So those are the first 3 steps: registration, RSVP, and table arrangement. Now, let's talk about the check-in process. Fort Digital will provide you with a dedicated check-in phone preloaded with our check-in app. It's very simple to use. When guests arrive at the venue, you just ask them to show their barcode ticket and scan it using the app. The system will immediately display their details, and if everything is correct, you simply tap Check In. That's it. The check-in process takes only about 3 seconds per guest, so there's no need to search through an Excel file manually. Once you scan the barcode, their name, company, and other information will appear instantly, allowing you to verify and check them in quickly. If you like, you can also print a label for each guest, which they can stick on their shirt or badge. However, keep in mind that printing labels may slightly slow down the check-in process since you'll need to print and hand out the label. If you don't require labels, you can proceed directly with the check-in. We will provide the phone and the login credentials for the check-in app. Once logged in, you can start scanning barcodes right away. Let me show you a demonstration. For example, I'll pick a barcode ticket from the guest list and scan it. When the scan is successful, you'll hear a confirmation sound, such as a ding, indicating the guest has been checked in. If someone tries to check in with the same barcode again, the phone will alert you with a beep, letting you know that this barcode has already been used. This helps prevent duplicate check-ins or potential fraud if someone tries to share their ticket. After checking in, you can refresh the guest list, known as the master table, to see the updated status. The guest list will show the check-in status, including the date and precise time down to the second. You can also view a live summary showing how many guests have checked in and how many are still pending. When around 80% of guests have checked in, you can already begin your event. For the remaining 20% who haven't arrived, you can send them an SMS reminder. For example, "Dear first name, last name, the event will begin in 10 minutes. Please proceed to check in." This is another reason why SMS is so powerful. It lets you reach guests at every stage of their journey. You can also override check-in status if needed. For example, if someone was checked in by mistake, you can double-click their status in the guest list and reset it. This will clear their check-in date and time, allowing them to be checked in again. After refreshing the page, their status will update accordingly. If guests are already checked in, you can also send them SMS updates. For instance, you might inform them when the event is starting, when breaks are over, or even announce flash sales or promotions at booths inside the venue. This gives you full control of communications with attendees who are already present. When the event ends, you can also send a thank you message to all guests who checked in, along with links to a photo gallery, Q&A session, or any follow-up materials. The system also supports a checkout feature. Although not every event uses it, it can be helpful if you want to track when guests leave. To check guests out, simply tap the Checkout button on the app and scan their barcode ticket. The master table will then record both their check-in and checkout dates and times, allowing you to see when they arrived and left. All guest data in the master table can be exported at any time. Now let's talk about the booth function, which is optional. If your event includes multiple booths, such as exhibitions, games, or lucky draw stations, you can create and manage these booths within the system. Each booth will have its own login credentials for the check-in phone, allowing staff at the booth to scan guests' barcode tickets. Guests can present their barcode from SMS, email, or a printed label. When a guest visits a booth, staff will scan their ticket, and the system will log the booth visit in the master table. You can later see which booths each guest has visited. For example, if a guest visits 3 booths, they might qualify for a free gift or lucky draw entry. At the end of the event, you can generate a report for each booth showing which guests visited them. You can also add remarks in the database, for example, if a guest has already claimed a prize, to prevent duplicate claims. This booth tracking feature provides valuable insight and ensures a smoother experience for both guests and booth operators. This is a very powerful system that allows you to track everything from a single master database. You can always stay in control, sending SMS updates to all guests, groups of guests by stage, or even to individual attendees. Now, let me show you some additional functions. I'll go back to the event list. Sometimes you may have events with a fixed date. For example, a one-night-only event at a single venue. You can use the system exactly as described earlier for those. However, if your event recurs or has multiple sessions, you can configure appointments with different locations and sessions. Let's see how that works. In the event editor, scroll down and enable the Appointment with Location and Sessions option. Then you can define your event dates. For example, if you have a 3-day event, you might set 17th February 2024, 18th February 2024, 19th February 2024. After saving these fixed dates, guests will see these options on the registration page and can select the date they wish to attend. If you don't have fixed dates, meaning the event is open year-round, you can leave these dates blank. Next, you can define locations. For instance, you might have 2 venues, Bishan Branch, Tanjong Branch. For each location, you can also define time slots, known as sessions. For example, at the Bishan Branch, you might offer 9:00 a.m. to 10:00 a.m., quota 5 tickets, 10:00 a.m. to 11:00 a.m., quota 5 tickets. You could continue adding as many sessions as needed for each location and specify how many guests each session can accommodate. Once you save the event and refresh the registration page, guests will be able to see the available locations, dates, and time slots to choose from, providing a flexible and powerful appointment booking system. Now, after refreshing, you can see the dates are set to open registration at any time. You can also define holiday dates if you want to block specific days. For example, if I choose the 16th, I can then select from the available locations, like the 2 locations I created earlier, and pick the available session. The system will show how many slots remain for each session. I'll proceed with a sample registration. I'll fill out the details, wait for the OTP, and then click Submit. Done. The registration is completed. Going back to the guest list, you'll see the guest entry now includes the appointment date, location, and session. During check-in, when you scan the guest's barcode, the app will display this appointment information. If the guest shows up on the wrong date at the wrong location or for the wrong session, you can refuse entry. The app will clearly show these details, making the check-in process much easier. No need to check spreadsheets manually. You can also view the appointment list to see how many quota slots are left for each location and session. From there, you can adjust quotas if needed. For example, increasing capacity if demand is high. This flexible appointment feature lets you handle multi-session and multi-location events with ease, making the system extremely versatile. In addition to this event management system, we also offer many other solutions to enhance your events. Live Lucky Draw System. Conduct a live lucky draw with a dynamic display. Live voting via WhatsApp. Engage your audience in talent shows or other activities by letting them vote easily through WhatsApp with no hardware or wiring needed. Live Q&A through WhatsApp. Allow participants to send in questions and let your panelists choose which ones to address. Selfie contest. Guests can submit selfies, which you can instantly display on a big screen as a slideshow. Wi-Fi rental. We also offer 5G Wi-Fi rental to support your event connectivity needs. For more details, please visit our website or get in touch. We're happy to help make your event a success. Thank you again, and goodbye.